Hello, it's Michael Gonzalez, and I want to show you a little bit about our room setup for the upcoming January 2022 board meeting. So if we turn this way, it begins at the dais. And if we go all the way this way, you can see where we will have our 9 board members who will be present, and it'll be in the same order and situation that we normally have our board members in. You can see our 3 executives, and then you can see the order of the board members, beginning with Dr. Henry Carranza and heading out to Cari Elizondo, Ms. Tita Vela, our 3 officers, Jackie Levin Ramos, Lupita Cepeda, and Jorge Delgado, and then out to Ms. Cynthia Mares, Esteban Rangel, and Judge Mercurio Martinez. Nice note, we will have 2 tables set up just behind the dais, and that's really critically important for some additional water that we might want to have, as well as to allow the board members to have additional space for their personal items, a hat, a purse, etc., that they may want to put at a table that's a little bit further away. We'll continue with a look at where the executive team would be sitting. And so it would begin right here with our interim president, Dr. Marisela Rodriguez Tijerina, who'll be sitting here, next to our provost and vice president of academic affairs, and followed by our legal counsel. We would continue the executive team seating just across with our vice president of finance, our vice president of enrollment and student success, and our vice president for resource development, who would also be seated. And then just behind them, we'd have seats for our faculty senate president, for our Associated Student Organization President, and our Classified Staff Organization President as well. Once we have all these seats in place, it really comes down to the podium and to where we'll be presenting. And so with this podium, you'll see it is placed in the center. The person who's speaking at the podium will be able to see everything that is going on, their presentation. It's controllable through this station, although with this piece of technology here, this transmitter, we're able to transmit everything that's on this computer screen back onto the screens just behind us, so that it's also visible to the board members and to the executive team as well. While each one of the board members and the executive team will have a wireless gooseneck microphone at their stations, we'll have also a wireless handheld microphone here at the podium, so everyone who is speaking at the board meeting will be properly mic'd. Additionally, there is once this is approved, there will be a safety precaution put in place whereby all the cabling that you see here below will be gaff taped down to the floor, and potentially even covered with mats as well, in addition to the gaff tape, to make sure that this does not cause any tripping hazard of any kind, and that we're able to make sure that people can walk freely without any hazard here in the middle of the room. And then last but certainly not least, a place for our secretary for the board. We have that table that's situated just right here as I point to it, and that's so that everything that Liz does can be handled. She's close enough to everybody that she'd need to be in order to get up and handle all of her duties here at our board meeting. And then, should there be a need, we do have additional seating that is against each one of the walls. That seating can be for persons that will be presenting at our upcoming board meeting, so that they'll, because they'll need to be here, they may need to be here a minute or 2 ahead of time, and this will provide a comfortable spot for them to sit that is both comfortable for them, but doesn't impede in any way the proceedings of the board meeting. So really excited about all of that. And then from a technological perspective, I think it's important that we discuss that the camera systems that are located within the Falcon Executive Conference Room that are point, tilt, and zoom, or pan, tilt, and zoom cameras will also be used to utilize the Zoom webinar and provide the Zoom meeting, if you will, out to the public as we have in previous board meetings. And so we'll have our media center team as they have at every board meeting since the pandemic has begun, to handle this as well. And so this is a quick look at our setup for a Laredo College Board of Trustees meeting here in the Falcon Executive Conference Room. I think it's another last point of emphasis that in addition to this space, I would like to let you know that we will have the smaller conference room, YL 222, available as well for the meeting space for the board members prior to the board meeting, and for any executive session items that would need to happen. And both of these entrances and exits would be accessible so that board members and or anybody else that needs to be in this room can participate in this session and have easy accessibility out to YL 222. And again, as folks are coming into the Executive Conference Center as a whole, we'd have HSOC support there to make sure that everybody has been temperature checked and that all the guidelines that we have in place regarding health and safety are being followed. So again, this is our setup overall. Looking forward to any feedback that you might have and or your approval of this setup, and that way we can move forward with finalizing everything that you see here in preparation for our board meetings next week. Thanks a bunch for listening. Again, this is Michael Gonzalez, our Senior Director of External Affairs. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.